welcome to the first off-season edition of the Same Old Arsenal USA. Obviously, we are 2 men short right now. They are finishing up makeup backstage, which gives us plenty of time to make sure that we keep the lights on around here.
West Cork Beard Company make beard oil and beard balm for a strong, healthy, great-looking beard. Handmade from all natural ingredients in Clonakilty, West Cork. Check out their YouTube channel for beard care tips and advice, or catch them online at westcorkbeardcompany.ie.
So once Stan and Rohan are finished getting primed and proper for the show, we will dive in. In the meantime, I will do a little introduction. We're going to talk a little Arsenal news stuff because there are some things outside of the transfer market making the rounds today. I'm sure you, Ryan, and you, Glenn, have both heard the Ainsley Maitland-Niles thing from an interview I guess he did with a newspaper over there. So we'll get into that. Obviously, as I've tweeted in the show account on Twitter, has tweeted out, we are going to do I don't want to call it a fantasy draft because it's not. We're not including players that we would love to see here because it would just be absolutely silly. So,
got so many notes.
Yeah, right. All the notes. I want all the notes. But yeah, so another 5 to 10 seconds here, and hopefully we've got Stan and or Rohan in here. All right, so Glenn, good to see you, my friend. How is summer treating you so far?
It was fine till an hour ago when you told me there was a show tonight. I thought we were off for the summer. But
whoops.
I'm doing fine. Any noise you hear is my kid in the other room behind me.
All good, man. Again, 3 dogs, 2 of whom are laying on the same bed, so there's actually room on the bed, but they're usually it's like a beagle pile over there. So, but I get the noise thing, man. Believe me, as I'm sure most folks who watch this show have heard at one point in time or another. The dogs will bark one dog will bark from time to time. So I'm also probably going to have the Vegas Colorado hockey game on my phone. So
what about the Pang? Too soon?
Yeah. Whoops. No, not at all. Not too soon. Not at all.
Yes.
Tristan, Jari.
Yes.
I do like that, by the way. I do like that.
Let's go Islanders, baby.
If your boys can finish the job tomorrow night on the island, I'll be a massive Islanders fan again when they play Tampa. I don't like the Lightning, man. I've never liked the Lightning, and I'll be a massive Islanders fan in that series. So, anyway, Ryan, as we talk hockey for a minute, how are you, brother?
Good. I am also. I mean, I knew we talked about there was gonna be a show tonight, but then when the tweet went out, I was like, oh yeah, that's the thing, and I'm excited. I'm one of the few people that just I can't turn my Arsenal. I can't turn my yapper off. Period. But when it comes to Arsenal, I could do this every week, no matter how bad we're playing. It's fun to talk to you guys and to everybody in the chat.
Well, what's nice is we're not playing right now, so all is well in the world of I shouldn't say all is well in the world of Arsenal. But Stan, are we coming through all right now?
Yes, mate. Everything is coming through loud and clear.
Good. I was on an echo there for a minute, according to Ryan and Glenn, so I think I got that fixed. But how are you, friend? How's the summer in the Pacific Northwest?
Lovely, mate. Over here in North Vancouver at the moment, and looking forward to being back and chatting with everybody after our week away.
Yeah,
what's happened, right, since we were last here?
Well, a lot of news making the rounds at the moment. before we get into the draft, we'll spend a little bit of time talking about some news. Probably I didn't really see much about it on Twitter today, but the Ainsley Maitland-Niles thing. I guess he was, I don't know, like crying that Arsenal haven't talked to me, and like he doesn't know. Like I guess basically at this point, Maitland-Niles is saying he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground.
Okay, we see what side of the fence you're on that story with. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Cliff. I said the same thing. I was like, oh, you led that story off really well.
I mean, like, okay, he hasn't heard anything from. I mean, I have an opinion on why I don't think he's heard anything from Arsenal, but I don't know if it's realistic. I mean, the fact is, right now, Arsenal have his players' rights, but he's a West Brom player until I think I'm going to say till like the end of the month or something, whenever the season, I guess, officially ends. And I mean officially is in terms of the fiscal season. And that's getting into a lot of legal and technical mumbo jumbo. But, for all I know, Arsenal, maybe they can't talk to him because they haven't recalled him from his loan despite the end of the playing season. So I would imagine most of these guys are on vacation and the club hasn't spoken to anyone because you haven't heard Willock say anything, and we haven't heard a peep about his future. So, Stan, I'll start with you. Anything to read into this Maitland-Niles thing?
Well, I've just heard from Rohan. Apparently, his Learjet is just touching down at JFK, and his limousine will be taking him to his penthouse suite in Manhattan, so he'll be joining us shortly. The Ainsley Maitland-Niles thing, I think the one thing that I get out of it the most is we were told some time ago from Mikel Arteta that the plans for the summer, it's all been mapped out. Everything is mapped out. It's all been done. Him and Edu, do you know what I mean? They've been working on everything. This doesn't sound like it to me. It doesn't sound like you think that, players they've been telling us that we're constantly in contact with what's going on with our players on loan all the time. We've got people out there that are on the phone. Doesn't sound like it to me. So it's never really good if you go bleating to the newspapers, right? You're not really doing yourself any favours. When it actually comes to the player Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I'm going to say something that I never ever thought would come out of my mouth, and that's I'm actually with Sam Allardyce on this one. Where he said, if you're playing at a club like Arsenal, you play in a position that they want you to play in. You don't start kicking up a stink and going, well, I only play in that position. I don't want to play in that position. I'm with him on that. You make your bones, right? You make your bones in the team and any way that you can.
Okay. I would like to see him come back. I have no problem with him going to the media and saying he wants to play. That shows a fire under his ass for me. As far as Willock goes, the last thing I saw was Arsenal not going to tell him unless they get like a $30 million offer. So he'll be back, or he'll be on loan again if they work that out. But I'd like to see Willock back. I'd like to see Ainsley Maitland-Niles back.
Ryan?
Yeah, I think the whole Ainsley Maitland-Niles thing, I think the last two seasons, clarity anything but. There's rumors going around that he doesn't want to play right back, and then he comes out in an interview saying, "Oh, I play wherever the coach wants to play me. I'll play left back, I'll play right back." Then he goes out on loan, he plays center mid, and then I think it was Sam Allardyce in an interview said, I asked him what he wanted to play. And I put him where he wants to play. So it's just, I don't know. It's very interesting. I think this window is going to address a lot, and I think it'll tell us a lot. If we don't get full coverage at right back or coverage at left back, and we bring AMN back, he's probably going to play there. If we don't get the center mids that we want to get in. We'll give him a chance. I tweeted this out earlier. And my whole thing with AMN is the one thing that I love about him is he's super athletic. He's a machine. He can run around the pitch. He can do a lot of good for us. And what's the one thing we lack in the center of the pitch? Athleticism. So I really want him to I don't think he has a place for us in the starting 11 for Arsenal going forward in the center of the field for us.
Do you see him as a squad player, Ryan?
What? Yeah. You gonna say something, Tanner?
No, go ahead. Answer, Glenn. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. So that's actually what I was getting to. Is I think we need athleticism. He brings athleticism. He has a certain skill set that we actually really need in the middle of the field. I just don't think he does it to us being in a top 4, us competing in the Champions League, us being where the collective fan base wants to be. I think I shout out to Mike Hers coming for the El Neni hype. I think he's right there with El Neni. I think he's a perfect squad player. But the thing is, he's got to accept it. So I guess in that way, he's not a perfect squad player. He has to accept being a squad player, which I don't think he wants. I think he'd rather be.
He has to accept it if he's going to play here.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's got to be like Chambers. He's got to be like Chambers and say, "Where you want me, coach?"
Because let's dig into it a little bit. He's 24, so he's older, but he's not there yet. Like, he could still get better. So I'm all for keeping him in the middle of the field. I think whether it is we play him a little farther back, we play him further, I don't know. I like him more for his defensive purposes. I think he's a better defender than he is a forward offensive player. But I just it sucks because we know he's a good defender. He's done really well in his one-on-one defense when he's a fullback for us, and we know he has speed. We know he has the ball dribbling. We know he has passing. His crossing's not great, but he has the athleticism that we need to compete with the top. The question is he going to be there game in, game out? I don't think so. I think he's in El Neni's boat. I think we use him for certain games, but I think his quality of play is not there yet. So if he wants to play in the center of the field, hey, dude, you have to rotate. You're gonna be a squad player, and I don't think he's gonna accept it. I think he'd rather be, at a Brighton, at a Brentford, and just start week in, week out. Even at a West Brom team who, yes, they got relegated, but they're going to be competing to come right back up. So I wouldn't even be surprised if he's willing to go to the championship and play for one of the top dogs. That's willing to come up, because I think he's really, because let's face it too, we've also heard this multiple times that he wants to play center mid. This isn't just the first time we're hearing about this. This isn't like, oh, Sam Allardyce put him there and now he's in love. No, this has been like his long-time girlfriend. Like this is where he wants to be. So I think decisions for us have to be made to affect what he wants to do.
Let me circle back to something you said. And so you brought up the term athleticism, and it's the one thing that we talk about with him all the time. He might have more athleticism than damn near anyone else in this squad right now. But, and I'm going to use an example here. Number one, I don't think Arteta values athleticism the way that he should, and the way that I think most of us do. I think he values intelligence and technical ability more than athleticism, and I think they are exclusive. I think you can have them all, but I think a player like that is very rare. So I have said before that I think Mikel Arteta has thought that Granit Xhaka was the most important player in his starting 11, and look at the lack of athleticism there. So you see where I'm going with this? Like, I just don't think Arteta values athleticism. I think he wants players who are good at one very specific job, who have a high footballing IQ, and a high technical ability rating. And I don't think that AMN fits that bill. Stan, what are your thoughts? Am I crazy in my thought process here?
I thought he was fairly rubbish as a fullback, to be honest. Left back or right back, I thought really average. Nothing to write home about. He's playing in the midfield now for West Bromwich Albion. Where are they? Where did they finish in the league?
Oh yeah,
18th, 19th.
So, I don't really have anything different about the player, to be honest with you. if he wants to come back and be a squad player, you know, I'm sure that he could make a contribution. But I'm not going to really miss him, to be honest. He's never really done it for me. He seems like a nice enough guy, but I'm not really bothered.
I've seen enough of AMN to want one more season from him, whether it's as a squad player here or on loan for another season with a team that's going to play him the way Willett got minutes. So yeah, that's my stance on it. I'm not like sitting here to defend him. I'm saying I've seen enough from him. I'd like one more year before we give up on him.
I actually agree because I think that there's a player in there, and I think that whether we keep him or loan him, I kind of agree with Stan. He was actually one of my favorite players. I loved him before he kind of I don't even know what to call what he did. But yeah, I'm really indifferent about it now, and I do want to see him one more year, whether he's with us or he's on loan, because I do think his value can go up. I think what needs to happen is we need to figure out what he's doing. If he doesn't want to play fullback, I would be cool. That's fine. And if I'm Arteta, you know, I can't promise you minutes. If you want to play center mid, I get that. That's cool. But I can't promise you're going to play a lot. So do we want to send you on loan? I don't know. I think it was a little tough. I think he was actually pretty good. I watched him on loan a few times. I watched a few of his games. He was good. I think he got overshadowed by Conor Gallagher a lot in most games. And I was like, ooh, okay, amen. And I tweeted this, like, bring Conor. I want Conor Gallagher on our team. And then I find out, of course, like every good young player at a crappy relegation team, he plays for Chelsea. He's on loan from Chelsea. So yeah. So I mean, I really think that we could benefit from another year of seeing him play, because right now I don't think, especially with teams being like, oh yeah, you want to, you know, they call Arsenal, hey, you want to sell AMN? Where does he play? Well, he played right back that one time. Then he was left back. Then he played left wing back. That was a fun game. And then he went to West Brom. I think Sam Allardyce put him in the middle of the field. I think it was center mid. We need clarity. You need clarity in a position. We need clarity on what he wants. And if that's what he wants, if he wants to put his foot in the mud and be like, no, I'm playing center mid, and if you don't want to play me there, get rid of me. At this point, at first I was like, no. I was like putting my foot down. But you know what? Cool. We have bigger fish to fry than AMN right now. So if that's what you want to do, then I think we should, as a club, find a loan option. But if not, I mean, we could sell him. Especially now, with the position we're in, we need the money. So,
hey, listen, we're all pretty tepid about Maitland-Niles right now, but I'd like to ask BG and Stan a question. I'll
go fuck myself.
No, because we agree. So
do it on camera.
This question is not pertinent to you, you touchy little baby. The one transfer rumor that seems to be true is Xhaka leaving. Assuming that Xhaka leaves, BG and Stan, do you still not want to give AMN a year here if Xhaka leaves?
Stan, I'll let you go first.
I just think that no one's ever really. Why have none of the managers, you know, tried him there then? Why have they see him every day. They see this guy in training. They've seen him in the under-23s. They've seen him out on loan. They don't seem to want to give him a chance there. So I'm kind of. I tell you where I am with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. When I downloaded FIFA 21 the other day to start it, before I start my career mode, I usually go off and find all of the players that we've loaned out and bring them into my starting squad before I start. So when I start up this career mode, I've got everybody there and I make the decisions. I've done all of that, and it wasn't until like a couple of games in I realised I'd forgotten all about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I left him at West Brom.
First thing I do in FIFA 21 is sell Xhaka. Okay.
I kind of forgot he was an Arsenal player, and that's kind of where I am with him. I keep forgetting about him.
BG?
I'm kind of with Stan on this. I mean, like when he went out on loan, he was very prominent in my mind when he was here. When he went out on loan, it was kind of like, wait, who? Who are you talking about?
Exactly. I couldn't.
And I hate to say that because Maitland-Niles has been. I can't say he's been one of my favorite players, but he's been a player that I've really wanted to see do well because I think there's a skill set there The athleticism is unquestioned. And that I see that, and I'm like, there's got to be a way for him to get a foothold in this side. But the problem is, and what it always comes back to, is upper management, on-field management, and I'm going to throw the fan base in with this. We're never satisfied. We always think there's something better out there. We're the cheating husband. We've got the most beautiful woman in the world, but we always think that there's someone more beautiful out there, and we're always, just like constantly looking for this. And so it's do we give him the year, like you're suggesting, Glenn, and say, all right, here you go, fight for your spot, or do you go buy somebody to replace him? Because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, no matter what happens. And upper management and Arteta and the like. I mean, these guys, they don't. I'll circle back to my previous statement. They don't know their asses from a hole in the ground. They don't know what they want to do. They have no clue. Again, I'll go back to things that I've said in previous shows. When it comes to squad building, are you going to develop your academy in the hopes that they're going to come through and crack the top and crack the starting 11 in the senior squad, or are you a club that just go out and buy all of your players? They don't know what they want to do. They're 1 foot in, they're 1 foot out. They're lukewarm. As a club, top to bottom, I think, Glenn, you used the term tepid. That's a great way to put it. And I'm kind of spiraling away from what you said here. To answer the question, if we do in fact sell Xhaka, would I give AMN a run? No.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Gun to my head right now. Let me say this one thing real quick, Ryan.
No, you're good. You're good.
This is and Ryan, you're gonna most people I think are gonna lambaste me for this. When we sell Xhaka, because I think that there's too much smoke now around this for there to not be fire. Until we see what we replace him with, we're a worse team without him. Now, understand. Hang on. This is an addition by subtraction, in my opinion. Until we see what is going to replace Granit Xhaka, we are going to be a worse club without him. Now, that is not to say that when we replace him, we're still a worse team. Could be, maybe not. Hope not. But until the replacement comes in and we see who that is, we're a worse team without him in the lineup, and I would trust him over Maitland-Niles. I think overall, yes, Granit Xhaka has that one bonehead error in him every 8 to 10 games. Maitland-Niles in that role, I don't think is right now as consistent as Granit Xhaka is. I think he's an overall worse player. He can develop into a better player.
I would actually say, Maitland-Niles, Granit Xhaka, I'd actually put Mohamed Elneny ahead of both of them. And I think the stats also showed as well, didn't it? Towards the end of the season when Granit wasn't playing, we had a much better win percentage when we have Elneny in the team. And if people want to laugh, on the chat box about that, that's fine with me. But I just think that overall, I think Mohamed Elneny is in that role. What we're doing at the moment, I much prefer him ahead of Xhaka, and I do certainly think that he's more capable and more experienced to have there than Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
And to be fair too, Xhaka, you said once every 8 or 10 games. I'll be honest, I am a bias. I am the guy at the bar that went. Yeah, I am the guy at the bar that's screaming out Xhaka's name every time I watch him play. But if you really watch him play, he makes a boneheaded decision almost every game. It just doesn't bite us in the ass every single game. It'll bite us in the ass probably 8 or 10 games, but he always has that really dumb, stupid foul, or he'll fall on his face and grab the ball. He just grab the ball thing. That's, I don't really hate it as much as that, but he just has he's just very unathletic. Yeah, right. I'm actually flying to Rome. It's funny. I actually thought about this. I was very drunk when I thought about this.
You're just like making sure that he gets off the plane at Rome.
Yeah,
on the same flight, just to make sure.
But he's going to get him into Center City, Rome, and then be like, "All right, get out of the car."
I was thinking.
He's gonna be like, leave the gun, take the cannoli.
I was thinking about this. I was just very drunk, and now I think about it again. It's really stupid, but I was gonna buy a Xhaka jersey for when he joins Rome because it's like I'm not really supporting him. I'm supporting the fact that he's not with us. He's in Rome.
Another team.
Yeah, I'm supporting the fact that he's on another team. I was like, this is genius. I was very inebriated, but yeah, no. The one thing I really wanted to say about AMN really quick was another piece of the puzzle that we kind of really didn't talk about was the reason why he played right back for us and why he was doing what he was doing is because of injuries. Bellerin, I think it was pre-ACL. Bellerin was hurt, though, for some reason. We needed a right back. We didn't know what to do, so we put AMN in there. Yeah, he didn't do that bad of a job. I mean, besides Stan, I think most of us really thought he did a good job. I thought he played well in Bellerin's absence. This is like 2-3 seasons. It might be also when Wenger was our coach. I don't even know. But he didn't do that bad. And because of his athleticism and willing to adapt, okay, cool. He's our paper over the cracks. He's our easy fix-it guy. Cool. And I think he just that it's almost the best way to describe it is almost, Jason Alexander playing George Costanza in Seinfeld. He got the role. Now he can't get another role anywhere in Hollywood.
That's what he does.
Everyone sees him as George Costanza.
Because I think George Costanza.
And I don't think AMN has that bad, but I do think that kind of happened to him in Arsenal where he played right back for a little bit for us, and then people kind of like, oh, like he's not terrible. Like, let's leave him there and see what happens. And I think at that point, we had the center of the park kind of figured out.
Well, that's pretty much where he caught his break into the starting 11 was at right back.
Exactly. And I think people lose sight of that, and people go like, oh, he needs to stop. Well, but it makes sense why we're almost like typecasting him in that right back spot. But now that he's older, we have other needs to attend to. He's not a Saka where we kind of got to please him. He's I think it's just we need to sit. Arteta and him need to sit in a room, close the doors, turn off your phones, and just talk for like 15-20 minutes, figure it out, and then make a decision. Because honestly, if you look at all the shit that we need to do this transfer window, which everybody knows, I hope everybody knows we're not going to do everything we want to do. He is probably well past all of that. So I think that's just something that him as a player needs to accept and figure out, and he needs to let Arteta know.
BG, please.
We spent 27 minutes speaking about fucking Ainsley Maitland-Niles, which is probably more minutes than he'll get if he comes to Arsenal next season.
Can I just put a cap on this because I had to remember this thing during Ryan's answer. When I gave that Maitland-Niles question, it wasn't to automatically insert him into the starting 11. It was Xhaka gone. He gets a chance for more minutes, if he comes back here for a season. That's all I meant.
Get his chance to prove himself and earn a spot. Yeah, Jesus.
It it depends who we sign because the middle of the field is our biggest concern. Whether it's an attacking 10 or a defensive midfielder or just a regular center mid, I think that's a big concern for us. And yeah, I think going back to your question, Glenn, if we don't address it, I think why not give AMN minutes? Moving
on. Let's keep this quick. A lot of people over the weekend were pretty upset, it seems like, that we did not, or that we lost out on Emi Buendia to Aston Villa. And I'm going to start with you. Are you just thoughts on it? Is it, oh my God, we lost out on a player to Aston Villa, or is it, okay, like whatever. The transfer window hasn't even opened yet. So what's your take?
Who'd you ask? I missed that.
Stan, I'll start with.
Well, my take on it is like this, basically. If it was a case, right, that Emi Buendia and his representatives were sat there at a table, and on you got one side, you've got the Aston Villa guys, and on the other side, you've got Mikel Arteta and Edu, and they're both giving their vision of their football club moving forward, and their pitch for Emi Buendia, and he sat there and he went, yeah, I'm going to go with Villa. And I'd be disappointed because I'd be saying that Mikel Arteta can't even sell his process to a championship player. But I don't believe that was the case. I think it was more of a case, and you've got to remember the guy that owns Aston Villa is absolutely minted. He's not short.
Third richest ownership in the Premier League.
There you go. And I just think it was a case of Arsenal were happy to meet the asking price and maybe even a little bit more. But we're Arsenal. And we always want to pay in instalments, yeah? We want to pay £5 a week to the end of time itself. Whereas Aston Villa probably went in and said, we'll fly you a cheque for the whole amount. And Arsenal didn't want to meet that valuation. They didn't think it was, that a player who's coming up from the Championship and didn't exactly set the world alight when he was in the Premiership was maybe too big a gamble for them. And I don't see a problem with that. If you don't have very much money to start with, then one has to be prudent. Right?
For me, I think, first of all, I don't put any credence into any transfer story. The only reason I brought up Xhaka is because I checked some of the facts behind it, and it appears to be true. But I think Arsenal is like that washed-up movie star that thinks they can get into any club and get past any line, and we're not that way anymore because of our piss-poor, spiraling last 10 years. And I don't think we are that attractive a place for players as we used to be. I say that with a heart broken, but that's the way it appears to me. And you know what? Buendia, I'm with Stan. I think he's a little overrated. So, I wasn't crushed he went to Villa. I'd rather have Neves with there. I don't know if I believe those stories either, but he's a hell of a player.
Yeah, I mean, I came on this podcast multiple times, and I think he's a quitter. So,
Yeah, you said that before.
I mean, to be fair, I would have what he brings as a center mid / I think he's a right winger too. We could have used his skill set is something we need desperately at this club. I won't lie. I'm going to have a different spin than Glenn. I think what happened was Villa came to him and goes, "Hey, you're our number one. You're top of the list. You're the fucking guy we want. We're going to pay this much amount of money for you. This is where you're going to fit into this team. You're going to play in the starting 11 every single week in, week out. This is what we're going to do." They kind of told him, they pretty much told him what his first season at Villa is going to be like. Whereas us, I think we go. Let's see, Emiliano Buendia here. Okay, yeah, you're one of the guys we're looking at. Yeah, we're gonna play you a lot. Hopefully, you're probably gonna rotate around.
You may find yourself playing at fullback now and then.
Yeah, yeah, but I think Buendia was not Arsenal's top target. So they were like, you know what? And to be fair, I also think Arsenal didn't think a team would come in for Buendia so hot and heavy so quick. So they were kind of like, "Oh, you're pressuring us, and there's other fish in the sea." Like an eligible bachelor. There's other fish in the sea. We'll let him go to Villa and we'll figure things out. I think that's what happened more like because you know how we are. We always have a list of targets. We never can pinpoint what we want, and a team decided to just come in and swoop them away from us, which. Power to Villa, man. And to be fair, him and Emi Martinez, teammates in Argentina, and they have the same agent. So it's like, it's not really shocking that he went. I'm not shocked that he went to Villa. I'm not upset that he went to Villa. I do think I liked Buendia only because he kind of gave us room to kind of flex the formation. He could play in a 4-3-3. He could play in a 4-2-3-1. He could play in a lot of different formations, whereas someone like an Odegaard can't really play in a 4-3-3. So it sucked, but I do think we have bigger fish to fry. He was just another name on the list. All right, cool. You're gone. See you later. It is what it is.
Last thing in terms
of as well.
Yeah,
for every successful player like a Jamie Vardy who can make a step up from a lower league, into the top league, you always have a Berahima as well. There's no guarantees that that Buendia is going to be able to make that step up and be successful. I never really watched him too much when he was in the Premier League last time out, but I did have a look at his stats. And if you look at his stats in the Premier League to the Championship, there's a vast difference. It's like when you see one of these kids at the young, under 23s, they're banging 7 goals a game. They finish the season on like 65 goals, and then they come into the first team, and they literally can't get a sniff. And I do worry a little bit about making that kind of a decision, right?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. A good example. What was his name? Sad Bodiarama from Brentford.
Yeah.
He came from, he went to West Ham. You think, okay, that could happen. I don't know how many, he didn't start many games for West Ham. I can promise you that he didn't play very much. Granted, it was his first.
Yeah, he did.
He hasn't been with the team long, but the same thing could happen, So and he took the championship by storm. And we were linked to them for a while. Everybody wanted him, and then he went to West Ham, and it was just like, I don't know. So I mean, anything's possible. I wish him luck, and that's fine because they're gonna get Buendia. That's awesome. And then when we sneak in and take Grealish at the last week of the transfer window, it's the ultimate wet willy, and then you smell it too. Or is that when you put your finger in the grass? I don't know.
What's happening?
I don't know. Anyways.
So the last bit of news making the rounds is, and this literally just came up. But I don't want to spend a ton of time on this either. But Daniel Ek supposedly is going to put in an offer of £2 billion, pounds to KSE to buy Arsenal. Glenn, real quick, is this ever going to happen, or is this all Daniel Ek just trying to boost Spotify's stock shares?
When it comes to American billionaires, most of them are dickheads, and Kroenke doesn't want to sell. And I don't care how much Ek offers him; he's not going to sell. He's a billionaire dickhead from America, and he doesn't want to give up his England toy.
Ryan,
I don't care until it's official that he bought Arsenal. I do not care about these rumors.
I'm with you there, Stan.
Well, I think he's real, right? He put in a last bid. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. It's real
situation where you try to punk out, like you go, yeah, here's the dough, and you think, yeah, I'll put in a low ball bid, right? Because they'll never take it. And they turn around and go, oh, cheers, mate, and you're like, oh, what? You
wait, what just happened?
Yeah. Well,
I was just kidding.
Give me my money back.
It's like when you mow an old lady's lawn. Your dad sends you to go and mow the old lady's lawn, and when she comes out and you finish, she goes, here you go. Here's like £2 to go and get some sweets. And you go, no, I couldn't. And she goes, all right then. Instead of coming back,
right.
No, I insist. People that go, all right. You're like, no sweets. But Daniel Ek, he's gonna come back in with a £2 billion bid, and I just think that everybody's got a number, and I just hope that Daniel Ek can come up with a number that satisfies the Kroenkes, because no matter how rich you are, if he's looking at it like, well, I paid X and he's going to come in with like double X, then maybe that's a nice bit of business. So I'm going to keep praying to who I pray to at night that this is going to happen.
I mean, I think the thing is, and you're right, it's like Ted DiBiase.
By the way, I pray to Thanos at night, in case anybody was asking.
Fair enough. Like you said, Ted DiBiase, everybody's got a price, right, Stan?
Yep.
But the price is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of double what Daniel Ek is going to offer right now, because it's not what
4 million, you reckon? 4 billion.
I think understand something. It's not what KSE paid for Arsenal. It's what Arsenal is currently worth. And they're currently worth $2.1 billion. So if they're worth that, there's no way KSE says, okay, you're paying what it's worth. No, that's not, you're going to double it. So it's not double what they paid. It's double what it's worth. And we're worth more now. Oddly enough, ironically enough, somehow this club is worth more now than it was when KSE bought it. I mean, even when KSE got the 96% or whatever it was when they bought out Usmanov. But I just don't. I hear everybody in the chat. The three legends aren't on board for a PR stunt, but I don't know. It just like Glenn, like you said,
the bids are real. I believe the bids are real, Stan. I don't think this is all theater. I just think that he's never going to sell, no matter what the price.
So enter Yanan, Stan. I know you love that name. Are we still worth this without European football? So the worth will most likely go down slightly, but it will only go down based on the revenue that the club would have generated from having European football this year. So what's Europa League worth? 30 million? That's not a number. It is not a number that is going to impact a sale price at all, in my opinion. You have to figure you players. The stadium is a big one. That's a big one because when the stadium's paid off, now all of a sudden you own. It's like buying a house. When you first buy a house, you don't own the house. The bank owns the house, and you're paying the bank rent, basically. But you're working toward ownership.
But we basically own the stadium now, aren't we? Almost there.
We're almost there, but there is still outstanding debt owed against the stadium. So, but once that's cleared up, boy, all of a sudden, and here's the thing: if you're Daniel Ek, get in now. Get in now, because once the stadium is owned by KSE, the value of the club skyrockets. It will absolutely skyrocket. It'll go you're talking about a sale price. It'll go from being $4 billion to probably $5 billion. That's just my take on it. I don't see this happening. But anyway, we have Rohan here. There we go. Now we got a full boat, ladies and gentlemen. We can get into the main topic of the evening.
You guys can start.
Oh. No, we're waiting for you, man. You got to pick in all of this. So,
I had to talk about AMN for like what Stan? Was it like 32 minutes? I had to hold it. I had to do it. I wanted to get Rohan in here. Come on. I had to do my part.
I knew what you were doing.
Thank you.
All right, so the way that this
Rohan, we gave Ainsley Maitland-Niles more minutes on here than he's ever going to get at Arsenal.
Through that. Rohan, I'm going to hand it over to you, man. How are things? Touch on AMN. Touch on the Daniel Ek, the new Daniel Ek bid that's forthcoming. I'm going to give you the stage for a little bit since you're just jumping on here. Take it away. How are things with you right now? Start there.
Things are all right. Just very, very busy. So yeah, that's why I'm late. Just work calls got done with them, and So, but the therapy session is on. So yeah, that's on work. On the bid itself, right? It seemed like it was some sort of marketing gimmick, and then now it seems like it's back on again, but I'm not really going to be convinced until like something really happens, right? Like, because why should it change our opinion that he's not trying to get traction? This is what we've accustomed to believing, right? Like all these false promises. I don't want to believe that just because some newspapers have reported that he's preparing a new bid, that there is a new bid being prepared. So yeah, that's my thought on it. We'll see. The proof will lie in the pudding. We'll see whether these guys really want to sell. Like you guys were saying, Arsenal as an asset is worth a lot. Not as a football team right now, but the club, the value of the brand, the real estate in London, all of this counts for a lot. And that being the case, we'll see. I don't know how much he'll have the backing of these guys, our legends who were openly supporting him. But we need change, and I welcome change, but I'm not going to get too difficult. That's my thought.
That's cool. I actually want to ask you, because I really don't want to talk about AMN much longer, but I think Glenn brought up a really good question, and I'm curious as to what you think. So we kind of know Xhaka's leaving here. So since we know AMN wants to play center mid, that's kind of where he wants to play. Do you think he should not necessarily start in the starting 11 for Arsenal every week at center mid, but do you think he should get minutes there? Or do you think he should go on loan? We should sell him. What do you think?
See, Xhaka has not worked out at various phases. There have been times that we played just with El Nani. There have been times where we played with an injured party. We've done all sorts of stuff. One thing that we haven't done is played AMN in midfield, right? So what is there again? Like I sound like such a cynic in this whole thing, but what is there to believe that now he gets a chance just because, just because Xhaka's gone? And I feel like, that's such a vital position that we should upgrade anyway. Regardless of whether Xhaka was staying or going, we needed an upgrade. Whether that upgrade is AMN, I don't know. And I don't think Arteta trusts him enough to give him those minutes. So we'll have to look somewhere else. Like, I don't want to, again, live in this la la land where I think that everything's going to be great, etc. But, like, it's not. It's fine.
I think Ryan thinks, right? I think Ryan thinks that Ainsley Maitland-Niles is going to do like a coquelan and rise like a phoenix from the ashes, reborn.
Not happening.
Reborn.
For that, you have to go on loan to Newcastle.
It's funny. It's funny too because he wasn't even the best center mid at West Brom. So it's like, it's tough because and Tanner spoke about it before, and I feel the same way. Like, I want him to succeed. I think he's a player. He came out of the academy. I really want him to play well. Now I'm kind of more leaning towards Dan, where I'm just like, I don't really care if he wants to bitch and moan. Like, just get rid of him. But then I'm going to agree with Glenn to make it a trifecta. I agree with Glenn where I want to see him play for another year. I need to see what he's worth, whether he plays with us, get like the scarce minutes at center mid, or send him out on loan again to a team that actually needs a center mid,
I can't believe we're giving all this time to Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Yeah. Well, no, okay. All right, so we're done here. The last thing I want to ask Rohan about is Buendia. And
we should get him to sponsor this episode or something. I don't know.
Like, it's fine. I liked. I think Stan tweeted it, right? Like, where you said that we both were in for him. Villa offered more money, and that's why he's gone there. So what's there to be sad about? It's not like, and they're going to use it as that narrative, right? Like, Martinez was right. Aston Villa really is a step up, or some shit like that. We've just got to take that banter because that's where we are. We just have to live with it. We have to get a hard shell. We're like turtle. People.
Yeah, we're damned if we do. We're damned if we don't.
It's okay.
How dare Arsenal buy a championship player? We're better than that. We shouldn't be going for championship players. And then when we don't get them, like, what?
I miss the days when we used to get. I miss the days when we used to get linked with Benzema every summer and like these bona fide world class players. And now we get linked with championship players, and that also we don't land, and then we get bantered for that as well.
Yeah, it's
just the same. Like you said, Ryan, it's just the same. It's like for seasons, it's like Xhaka, he's fucking shit. Got to get rid of that bastard. Waste of time. I'd drive him into the fucking woods and let him run off. And as soon as you find out that someone's willing to pay some money, but it ain't the right price that you think, it's like, well, we're being lowballed here. It's at least worth 40 million. I don't get it, man. They're like, whatever was it Roma offered, it turned out, I love the way that it was like 15 million euros, but the way that it was published in the news, they done like the fucking currency exchange to pounds, and so they ruled it out at 12.9 million pounds. Yeah. Did you know what I mean? The 0.9. And I'm just like, fucking take it, mate. Do you know what I mean?
If it was up to Ryan, he'll sell him for $12.99.
But I have to say,
I would pay Roma. I'd be like, yeah, look, I'll fly him for free.
If Mikel Arteta really thinks that much of Granit Xhaka, why is he not fighting to keep him and extend his contract? But then what I don't understand is, it was a year ago, we could have got about 40 million from him. Wasn't it Hertha Berlin that came in? And we turned that down. So again, hindsight's a bitch, mate. But back then I was just like, take that 40 million and do an Iwobi and just go with it. So, I mean, who do you blame for this? A year later, Mikel Arteta has decided to sanction him leaving, right? And we're getting less than half the money that we could have got a year ago. However, I still think that if he thinks he's that great, why isn't he fighting to keep him? Why isn't he going, well, we don't need to do anything there. We need to be buying a backup for Xhaka. He's not saying that. So it's kind of mixed messages a little bit for me of what it is that the club wants. I'm having trouble understanding the vision.
They don't know what they want.
Because it's only a season ago we're turning down 40 mil. Now we're letting him go. We're not fighting for him. We're not sure who the replacement's going to be. You know, I'd like to move on to Ruben Neves because, for me personally, you're looking at. I don't know too much about Basuma. He seems to be a sprightly fella. Again, I feel that for some reason I kind of feel like what Glenn said about Buendia. I think Basuma. Sorry, I was on a show the other week, and every time I said bassouma, because it reminds me of like a woodwind instrument from an orchestra. Anytime someone said his name, I went. So I honestly think though that he's a bit overhyped as well.
Raiders on.
We're playing
a little bit overhyped. I do think that.
Glenn, put the safety on that blaster, will you?
I've seen people like really like turning their nose up at Ruben Neves, and this is just my opinion. Ruben Neves is a player that he used to stick out to me a couple of seasons ago. I don't know why I found myself watching games with Wolves, and he was a player that he just caught my eye. I wasn't watching it because of him, but he was a player that caught my eye, and I actually think that everything that fans want Xhaka to be, that they will him to be, I think that Ruben Neves has those qualities.
Yeah, I agree. I think Neves is a game changer. I think Neves is a game changer. I do not believe Buendia is.
I just think that he's more mobile than Xhaka. Someone wrote it brilliantly. Was it ball comes to Xhaka, he sets himself, looks around. There are players 10 meters away from me. Okay, what am I going to do? 10, 9, 8, counts down to 1, and then it just says passes back to Bellerin. That's what you're going to get. But I just think that Ruben Neves, I think he's more mobile. His age, he has a better ceiling. He's 24 years old. People are saying that the season just gone, he didn't have a good one. Maybe he had a little bit of a dip. Maybe he could do with a change. But previously at Wolves, I think he's been very good.
Well, Wolves themselves did not have a good season. So that's you could chalk that up to that.
He can score some screamers. And I know that Xhaka likes to try them, but invariably Neves, I think, has a better ratio of actually getting it in between the sticks. I think he has a better passing range. He can do what David Luiz does, which was successful for us, by switching the play. He can cross balls right over and switch the play, which is something that we're going to lose now with David Luiz going. And that was a lot of things that people liked. I honestly, just my opinion, I'm surprised that he's getting the heat that he is. And I'm actually really pleased that there may be an opportunity that we get him, because for the position that he plays in the Premier League, he's been one of my little favourites for quite some time. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. Maybe he'll come in and just be a Xhaka clone. I don't know, but I like the sound of him coming in.
Yeah, I spoke to you guys. I didn't hear. I don't really know much about him, so I did a little frantic research. And I think he's everything better than Xhaka. I don't think he greatly excels at anything better than Xhaka. I don't think he's great at anything, but he seems to do everything better than Xhaka, which is good. The only thing that worries me about him that I've noticed, he takes a lot of shots from outside the 18 and he doesn't even come close to the net. So he's like almost like adopts the really poor qualities of Thomas Partey, where he shoots the ball and it goes into outer space, which I don't need. I don't think we need that as a club. But if you want to bring Basuma into the mix, I think Basuma is just a different player than Neves. I think Basuma is more. I think Neves probably does a little bit more than Basuma, but the thing is, like, Basuma does, he does he's very concentrated and he's very particular. His particular set of skills that we need is exactly what I said. Is exactly what we need. I think he's a player that's going to disrupt play. He's athletic. He's athleticism through the roof. He'll throw in some tackles. He'll win the ball, intercept the ball, and I think Basuma. How do I put this? I think Basuma makes Thomas Partey a better player, whereas I think Neves is probably a better partner for Partey. If that makes any sense.
That is probably going to be the best comment tonight. I doubt if there's going to be one.
That is pretty great.
That is fucking
brilliant.
That is pretty great.
I don't mean to be a I guess I don't know. What
You are. Whatever you try not to be, you are.
I'm telling you, right? Basuma ain't coming here.
Why? Tell me why.
Because he doesn't fit anything that Arteta wants this team to be.
Why? What does Arteta want this team to be that he doesn't?
Too non-athletic.
Stop it.
I hate to say it.
Stop.
But I'm kind of serious with this. He's too athletic. Can we
do this draft already? You're pissing me off.
No,
can you hit him?
Basuma ain't coming. Basuma ain't coming here.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
okay.
but he's not. But he's not coming here.
Can we do this? Can we do this mythological draft or whatever you want us to do?
I just want to say that I agree with Matthew Hudson. He says, I'd rather see shots flying than boring back and sideways passes.
That's true. That's very true.
Hey, look. If you don't shoot, you don't score, right?
That's right.
So my mom always tells me.
I mean, there's no such thing as a bad shot. All right. I kind of feel like we could do this. I mean, look, we could keep going with this. We could do the draft some other time. I don't care. I kind of like where.
No, because you're pissing me off about Basuma.
I mean, do you really think we're going to get him?
I think we can get him. I don't know if we will. It depends. I think.
Do you think we'll go in for him? Do you think we'll make a bid for him?
Again, it goes back to what I said not last week, but our last podcast. I think we have so many fucking names on our fucking list that it's just like, oh yeah, we can do him, and then we kind of like almost like exactly like Buendia. I'm sure he was on our list. Villa went in for him. We were like, oh well, okay, cross him off. It's gonna happen. So many teams are going for so many of these players that we want, and we're gonna be stuck with God knows, I don't know, but probably Sander Berge.
Well, I think it says something about Buendia when he has a chance to play for the sixth biggest club in the world, but he'd rather take $1 more from Aston Villa. So screw him, move on, get Neves.
I think
it's a little more complicated than that, Glenn.
May I ask you guys a question? Because if we're looking for a midfielder to play in a deeper role, and we're talking about Neves, we're talking about Basuma, and I've heard a few people say in different ways, are we looking for a player that's going to play deeper than Thomas Partey, and Partey is going to be the guy in between that player and the number 10 if we play in that formation, whether that be Buendia, Odegaard or ESR? Or are we looking for a player where we have Thomas Partey deeper and this other guy is going to be slightly in front of Partey doing the recycling and getting it to the... What's happening here in people's eyes?
It depends what Arteta wants. Personally, I want a player that's behind Partey. I want Partey pushed further up. That's what he's better at. He's good at carrying the ball. He's good at facilitating to our number 10, making passes. He's got a really good turn. He could carry the ball. We need Basuma. Yeah. That's why I value Basuma over Neves, because I think Neves is a good partner for Partey, whereas I think Basuma is just is going to make Partey just a better player. Just because it's gonna, it almost goes to like I don't want to talk about it because he's not going to his club anymore. But it almost goes back to the Ceballos thing. Ceballos was decent for us when he had one job. When he tried to do multiple things, he was a fucking mess. And I think if we could just take Partey and be like, hey, what Basuma's going to do all the dirty work. He's going to do the tackle. He's going to do all those things. He'll win the ball. He'll give it to you. You just got to carry it, maybe make a couple turns here and there, and give it to ESR. That's it. I think we're going to be better for it now. And to an extent, I can't believe I'm going to fucking say this. I actually have to agree with Tanner a little bit. I do think that we're kind of just looking for a partner for Partey, other than to just make Partey better. And I don't really think Basuma fits what we're trying to do. But then again, I don't know what Arteta's trying to do, because I don't think, to be fair, I don't think any of us know what Arteta's trying to do.
I think we know exactly what he's trying to do. I think we know exactly. Again. I just had it. Don Giovanni, the cultured number 6. He does not, and then stay fresh. Spanish managers don't appreciate athleticism. It's Arteta doesn't want to. It's not that. How do I put that? He doesn't. It's not that.
Well, La Liga has no athleticism in it. We know this already.
So start there. But it's not that he doesn't want. He's not actively declining players that are pure athletes. It's not that he's like, no, I don't want him because he's athletic. It's that's not when you're drawing up the list of traits or characteristics that you're looking for in a player. Athleticism is not in the top 5 of Arteta's traits that he wants in a player. It's just not. And all of this talk about Basuma, what's the first word out of everybody's mouth when it comes to describe Yves Basuma athleticism? It's intelligence and its technical ability on the ball. Arteta, basically what his system is it's just like Pep's. Maintain possession of the ball and wear the opposition down to the point where eventually you've got a guy at the far post standing wide open, drinking a cup of coffee with a hot dog in one hand, a newspaper in the other, coffee's on the ground at his foot, and the ball comes to him and he just bink right into the net. That's how he wants to win. That's how he wants to score his goals. It's not creative.
Okay.
It's not exciting. This is why I'm Arteta out. We're not going to win games 1-0. We're just not. We're just not. We're never going to attract the quality of player that Manchester City can because of the money, and he's not Pep Guardiola. So none of what it is that Arteta
he will not learn that Pep Guardiola, his mentor, lost and majorly screwed up the Champions League final. Why? Because of an athletic player in the other side, as in Kante, and he did not want that, right? Because
I just think as well that if we're going to go out and buy Basuma for that skill set and the way that he plays his game, I honestly believe that we've already got that player at the club, but he's out on loan, and that's Lucas Torreira. I honestly think that I would love to see Lucas Torreira in the team with Partey, doing that business that Ryan just said that would help make Partey a better player, because I think that Lucas Torreira is really good at putting out fires. He can get in there and he can chip in with goals as well. He's got a inside to his game as well. And I'm really surprised that we haven't tried to work with that player a little bit more, just to see if we could squeeze a little bit more out of him. But I just wanted to say as well, we've got Gracious Greek, it's his first time finding us tonight, watching us all the way from, same country as myself, Canada, but he's watching from Toronto. And a couple of other new names I've seen. Rin, is it? And LT.
LT's a new one, yeah. LT's a new one. Yep.
So I just wanted to say a big shout out to everyone in the chat box as well, and to those newbies that have joined us and found us. We're here every Tuesday.
Okay. Real quick, back to Stan's point from 2 hours ago before Ryan gave his answer. You were talking about Partey and Neves. And Ryan, don't look so fucking serious. Jesus.
I'm not. What? I was excited when you gave me a shout out. What do you mean?
Listen. Stan, you talked about Neves, Partey. That's a problem I would love to have, to figure out who's doing what role every game. So, I'll take that every day. I don't need an answer now. Neves and Partey on the same team. I love it.
Everybody keeps coming back to the Neves being a better partner for Partey, and I agree with that 100%. I said it before. I think I said it 2 weeks ago, or one of the last shows of the season. But Yves Basuma is Thomas Partey light right now, and I simply he is.
No, what do you mean? They do two different things. What are you talking about?
I think Basuma's skill set fits more what you want Thomas Partey to do. I think you're so he's what? So he's a defensive midfielder?
Thomas Partey is a guy you want dribbling up the field, connecting to the 10. Basuma is exactly what Stan said. Basuma is Torreira. I don't see that.
I don't see that.
That's fair. Game. I think Basuma is a better. Basuma led the league in. I think he led the league in like ball recoveries and interceptions, or one of the. He led the league in one of the two.
I think that.
Did you not watch him play? Did you not watch him when he played us? He was all over the field. He was slide tackling shit of us, winning the ball left and right. He was doing all that stuff. He was kicking our ass in the middle of the field.
Doing what we brought Thomas Partey in to do.
No, Thomas Partey doesn't do that. When have you seen Thomas Partey tackle a player, win the ball? When have you seen that?
But we brought Thomas Partey in to do that.
No, we didn't. No.
Yes, we did.
No, we did not. That's not what we know. It's not what we did.
Hang on.
That might have been what the media told you and what the fans told you. That's not what he does. That's not what Partey does. I'll say this. I think we'll agree on this. What he's done
is not his strong suit with this. With us, I don't think we've seen the best out of Thomas Partey because he's not been allowed to do what he's best at. Again, goes back to this club and the people that are making the decisions on transfers and personnel have no idea what it is they want. Thomas Partey Basuma coming to this club is you're going to put him in a position to do exactly what they put Thomas Partey in a position to do, and neither are suited to do that. I see Yves Basuma, whatever it is he's doing at Brighton, I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying he's not good at it, but I'm saying he's better at playing the role that Thomas Partey should be playing, and that they're to a degree the same player. They want to do the same things. What you are saying about Thomas Partey, you're spot on about. You want him being that link, but that's what Basuma excels at.
No, he doesn't.
I couldn't disagree with you more.
Fine,
anyway,
that's fine.
At this point, I think we're going to save the draft for another night because we're over an hour now, and I think this thing's going to take it.
Now I'll do the draft real quick. I'm going to fucking put 11 El Nenes on the board.
Ryan gets no picks. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do with this. All right. So I have everybody's name written on a piece of paper here. We're going to do the draft another night because at this point it'll take an hour.
Oh yeah, here we go.
It'll take an hour and a half. We'll at least get the. You know what? We can build up for the next couple of weeks to the next show. We'll do it then, but we can at least build up with our picks. So everybody will know who's picking where. So all right. These are the papers. I can't see anybody's names.
Yeah.
All right, so I have no idea. I'm just gonna pick a name here.
Can we have one of the Beagles to watch you pick? Because I don't believe this. This is
they're all sleeping. They're all sleeping. All right, so who do you think? If I could have any, if I could pick any of us to choose first, who do you think I would pick? Myself?
No. You
boom!
First.
But it is me. I get to go first, and you know what? Nobody will be mad at who I pick because I already know who my first pick's going to be.
Just announce it.
Nobody will be mad at me for it.
KT, I'm going to guess. KT's your first pick.
Nope. Glenn, you go second.
What?
This will take 2 seconds. Let's just do it.
I think it will.
Just do it.
We can get through it.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go in order. So let's stand either. Yes, so Stan's going to be
next. You
next.
guys are sitting in order.
Yeah, we're sitting in order.
It really is.
Yes. Okay. So fine.
Everything is in order.
Left, right. Perfect. Done.
All right. We could go in reverse order. I could go last, and Stan could go first.
All right. Now we're complicating things. Just pick Kieran Tierney, and then Glenn, you can pick next.
Nope. I'm going first, and I'm going to start with the easiest position. I don't think any of us will argue with this.
Oh, timeout. Do you have a formation? Is it 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1? What are we doing here?
It's a 3 in the midfield, 3 in attack. Whether it be a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, I think that's where we're at positionally with Arteta. I am simply going to keep Bernd Leno as a starting goalkeeper. That's what?
All right.
What?
But he wants to leave though. All right, whatever. Go.
You don't know he wants to leave. Oh my god.
Oh
yeah. You said the magic word, Glenn. You know what that means.
Is that Glenn? Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine. I have to put my son to bed early tonight because we have a doctor's appointment 8:30 tomorrow. Everything's fine. It's check up for school in September. I'm like fucking towering in South Park, guys. I don't have a clue what's going on, man. I don't know.
So here's what we're doing. All right, here's what we're doing. Realistic transfer targets. In other words, no Kylian Mbappe, no Erling Haaland. It has to be realistic. Preferably somebody that we've been linked with, although that doesn't really narrow the field, to be honest with you. But there are also going to be current Arsenal players, as I just demonstrated with Bernd Leno, that you can take. So we're going to build the starting 11 first. So Glenn, you now have your choice of any position except for goalkeeper. I picked the goalkeeper in the starting 11. So you have every outfield player at your disposal. It could be a current Arsenal player.
Okay, shut up. I know.
Go.
I didn't mean shut up.
I know.
I have to go. I said it earlier. I'll just say it again as my pick. Neves, I think, makes us a top 4 contender.
Okay.
Guys, I got to go. I'm sorry. Normally I can stay till midnight Eastern time, but I can't tonight. Take it easy.
And he's out. Okay.
And then there were 4. Okay.
So his pick shouldn't count because he can't even stay for the long haul. Get him out of here.
Well, I just said we would do it another time, and you're like, no, we'll get through it in 10 minutes.
I think we would get it done in 10 minutes, but I didn't think he was leaving in at 11.
All right, Rowan, Stan, what do you think? Do you guys want to do this another time, or do you want to do it now? Because there's only 4 of us, so which would mean
I don't care.
I don't mind. Well, everyone else wants to do. I don't mind.
Mm-hmm. All right, then let's do it. So the bottom line is I'm gonna leave Glenn's pick up there. So he took Ruben Neves in midfield. So Ryan, you're next. So it could be a current Arsenal player in their current position, or it can be a transfer target. So upgrade a position or keep someone in their current position.
I think I'm just gonna be boring because I gotta see what's there. I'm gonna go with ESR, obviously.
Okay. Rowan, you were next.
I mean, somebody who's going to stay, like we've said it many times, it shouldn't be even count KT. And KT for captain.
Yes.
KT for captain next term.
Stan.
Okay, I'm going to switch out our striker.
Okay.
I don't want any of the 2 strikers that we currently have as the main strikers anymore. I want to rip that up and start again. And I'd like to go with a player. I'd like to go with Edouard from Celtic. I'd like to bring him in and see what he could do for us.
Well,
I've watched him play quite a few times, only because the pub I drink in before lockdown is to share with Celtic, so I got to see him. Like his profile, see him score lots of Henry-esque goals. I think it wouldn't break the bank either. And I think it would then give 2 other players like Martinelli and Balogun in the background as bubbling under, coming on from the bench, things like that. Maybe in the Caribou Cup early stages, they could get their games as well. So I'd bring in Edouard.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to amend your pick.
What do you mean?
Because Edouard is basically it's done. It's a done deal that he's going to Leicester.
You just ruined Stan's Tuesday. Congratulations.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's all but confirmed that he's going to Leicester.
All right. Then I would go with I'll change that then. I'll go with Pepe. I'll keep with Nicola Pepe on the right-hand side.
On the right? Okay.
I think there's a lot more to come from the player, a player that I was really critical with for some time, and rightly so. But I always said with my criticism that I think that he's a player that needs runs of games and rhythm. And I think that we're beginning to see that from him now. What I like about Nicola Pepe, and the same reasons that I like Martinelli, is that we've got 2 players that can bring the chaos. When Nicola Pepe gets the ball, I don't know what the fuck he's going to do. I don't think he even knows what the fuck he's going to do, but something happens.
Yeah.
I like that. It just worries me that maybe Martinelli and Pepe can't play in the team at the same time because maybe it's a little too much chaos. But I'm going to stick on the right-hand side. I'm going to go again with another season with Pepe because I think he's earned it.
Fair. Yeah. We will pick 2 center backs. We still have a midfielder, a left wing, a striker, and a right back yet to go. I'm going to stay in the squad that we currently have at center back, and I am going to choose Gabriel Megalegs. Somebody on Twitter came up with Megalegs, and it's Magalesh, but I love Megalegs. That's tremendous. So
that's like me with old Tommy Tickle instead of Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to keep it in the squad. I'm going to take Gabriel as one of our center backs. Ryan, it is to you. Right back, center back, midfield, left wing, striker. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. Yeah.
Just really quick, because I totally forgot. I want to do my beer of the week.
Simple. Yeah.
It's basic. I would want to wait for Rohan because he would actually kind of get this, unlike you two. Maybe Glenn would have gotten it too. Poor Glenn. Bushwick Zombie. It's pretty cool. Because we're zombies and we're back from the dead. We're back at same old Arsenal, and you guys will listen to us for another fucking more year. So good luck, everybody. And Bushwick. If anyone knows about Bushwick, it's in Long Island. Yeah, Brooklyn, Long Island. It's very hipster. And I feel like we're kind of hipster to the.
What's the brewery?
Oh shit, it's a good question.
Is it what did you say? Bushwick?
Bushwick.
Yeah, Bushwick Brewery. No. Bushwick Zombies, the beer. Kings County Brewers Collection. So it's a brewer. It's brewed in Brooklyn. So there you go. Probably why Bushwick makes sense. But yeah, you know what? This is boring. We're naming Arsenal players. I want to name Balogun, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna name somebody who I like from my Stuttgart team. And I'm going to name Sasha Kalajdzic for Kelly. I hope you're listening. I need
a spelling and a position.
That's how you pronounce it. He's a striker. He's a striker for Stuttgart. He's everything that we need in a striker. He holds up play really.
I'm writing it down. So can you wait? Yeah. What's his name?
Sasa. So it's SAS.
Yeah.
Hold on. I actually have to look it up. It's like KA. Hold on, let me think. I'm going to look it up. Let's see if I can get this right. KALAJDZIC. Let's see if that's right. I think that's right. KALAJDZIC. Yeah, I said that.
You're right.
I got it.
Never trust a man that doesn't have any vowels in his name. That's what I always say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So he's a striker for Stuttgart. He's a tall motherfucker. But he's good at holding. He's Lacazette, but he's a lot taller. The only question I have for him is, can he handle the Premier League? Can he handle the not necessarily speed, because Stuttgart played really quick, but can he handle the physicality of the center backs in the Premier League? Yeah. But I love him.
You're taking him over Aubameyang, over Lacazette, over Balogun.
Because I'm trying to make it interesting. I don't want to. We're just gonna name. We're going to name Arsenal players all day. We finished 8th. We're fucking bad. Let's inject some players into it. Make this a little interesting. I also
on the bench, but okay. I
also wanted to pick it because I just, Kelly gave him a shout out on the,
because you'd rather be on a show that features Stuttgart.
What?
Stuttgart.
No, I'm Kelly.
I'm going to say it like I'm Sean Connery. It's Stuttgart.
Whatever. Anyways, yeah, I think he's a great player. He holds the ball up really well.
Best winners
put it this way.
He money penny.
Oh, he left. He left. I made him leave.
Right, is it my pick now? Fucking hell.
No, it's Rowan's pick, but I made him leave.
It's fine.
I made him leave.
I would.
Go ahead, Rohan. Go ahead.
I'd bring, I would bring Saliba back, right? As a second center back, right? Since he's gone to France, he hadn't been dribbled past for 6 years or something. Some stats like that. So you have to get him back, and all the youngsters who have gone away from Arsenal have done really well, right? Look at Joe Willock, who's got some sort of record now, right? Like scoring 7 consecutive matches. And Saliba's done well. We need a new partnership now that Luis is gone. And it's time that we start picking it. And, again, this brings me to this point, which are we over the fact, have we accepted the inevitable fact that Arteta is not getting sacked? Are we with that?
My God.
Yeah, ready?
Boy, look at this is a whole other podcast, but my God, look at the names of managers that are out there that we could, I'm not going to, I don't know. Can we afford them? I don't fucking know. But that are available. Would anyone here turn their nose up at Antonio Conte?
No. Fuck no.
Anyone not want Antonio Conte as the new manager?
No.
Ryan, you kind of shook your head. No, you don't
No,
want.
he was my number one choice when.
You're
getting Emery. He was the guy I wanted.
Like seriously, I'm not going to say what I would do because I want to keep it rated. I want to keep it R rated.
Unspeakable things.
Oh, the thing. Anyway, my God, I would take Antonio Conte in a heartbeat.
The only problem with Conte is he wants money and he wants to buy expensive players. He doesn't give a fuck about youth.
But like when he went to Inter, he bought like all the United rejects, and that he made them into like a great team. And if you look at it, the way we are going, right? We've picked how many players? Like we picked like at least 6 or 7 of them, and a lot of them were Arsenal players. Like we're not as bad to be 8th. We could be challenging for top 4 with maybe 2 or 3 signings, and then he's got the sort of manager that he is. Within 3 transfer windows, this one and then winter and then another summer, he could completely transform this team. Like why not? Like we have to go aggressive, and that's. If I was given a change, that's the only change. I think we discussed this last time, right? 150 million in transfers or just the manager change. I'll be like, just give me the manager change. I don't need it. I think we'll still be competing for the Champions League with this team if we had a Conte or someone like that. That's what I think.
Sorry.
No, I was laughing because I was like, maybe we should just do the draft the next week. I just want to see your face. Yeah, see, that's the face I wanted. There you go.
I'm watching the Colorado-Vegas game right now. And anyway, nobody's here to listen to me talk about ice hockey.
Yeah, I don't give
I probably should, Ryan. At least you and I probably should do a show on hockey. Yeah. Although I would destroy you.
That's fine.
But anyway, Stan, next pick is yours, my friend.
Before I name my pick, just what you were saying there about Antonio Conte very, very quickly. I'd just like to say that imagine this scenario. This tonight, Arsenal decide to pull the plug on Mikel Arteta and and they get rid of him. Tomorrow morning, they're going to call Antonio Conte. Who at Arsenal is going to sit down and talk to Antonio Conte, who's more renowned in football?
Know exactly where you're going with this.
Right? Who's going to sit there and talk to Antonio Conte about Arsenal's vision, where we're going? Who was qualified at Arsenal to sell a football vision to someone like Antonio Conte? Josh Kroenke?
No one.
Vino, second name I can't pronounce. The Gunnosaurus. There is no one. So, I mean, that's where we're at. You know what I mean? Without making themselves look like a bit of an idiot, who's got the confidence to sit there and talk football, talk shop with someone like Antonio Conte? There is no one. Anyway, my pick. I'm gonna complete the back 4 with the right back position. And I think you know where I'm gonna go with this, Tanner.
I know where you're going.
You know I'm going with this because he's in your FIFA team and he's in mine. I'm going to go with Youssef Attal from Nice. I've got a soft spot for this guy. It's one of them ones where, when you're when you're doing your career mode in FIFA and you're digging, trying to find a young gem. I'm going back maybe 3 or 4 FIFAs ago. I was messing around with this Youssef Attal, and it was one of them ones where you find the name, and then in the real world, you start hearing the real name popping up. And you're like, that's that fucking kid that I found on FIFA. Like, and you have a vested interest in what they're doing. I've got a few players like that. One of them is Youssef Attal. And obviously, in the real world, the guy's rapid. If you're thinking that Hector Bellerin has lost a bit of pace and we could do with a bit of that, this kid's no slouch on the right-hand side. Could even play maybe as a right winger. He's got that kind of pace. Very tricky, and I think he's very positionally aware. So I will go with Youssef Attal from Nice.
It's a good shout. I love it. I absolutely love it. So we still have 2 positions left, a left wing and another midfielder. And Ryan, you get to go next.
No, don't you go? I'm after you.
I'm going. I mean, you go. You're going after me. I kind of feel like we would pick the same players here. Like,
wait, what do we have left?
Left wing, and a midfielder.
Okay.
So our midfielders right now are Ruben Neves and Emil Smith-Rowe. We have your striker,
Zajic.
I probably would put him in our bench.
Pepe is on the right wing. I'll tell you what. I feel like given the options here, I think we're going to pick the same players.
Like the same two people.
Same two. I think we picked the same two. So yeah. I'm going to round out the midfield, and it's going to be Thomas Partey for me.
Oh wow, I wasn't picking.
I'll give you the left. So I'll give you the left wing. I think I know who you're going to take.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think that you don't agree with me in the midfield.
I wasn't going to pick Partey, no. But I think that goes to show like how much I really wanted Torreira to succeed, because I think Torreira what Torreira does with the midfield is we need a sweeper. We need a cleanup guy. We need a guy that's gonna win the ball no matter how much he has to work to do it. However many slide tackles he has to perform, no matter how many, like, he'll get beat up, he'll get bruised. He's going to win that ball for us, and he's going to get it for us. And then we need that kind of player. Granted, does Arteta want that player? I don't think so.
A fucking athleticism. He's got athleticism. Fucking bags of it. Guy can run, run for 90 minutes.
Yep. He sure can.
I think there was just so much that went on. Just him getting made fun of. He doesn't like England, and in my opinion, I think Basuma is better than Torreira. But it doesn't matter. We have Torreira. Why not try to use him? We have him. I think he can be great. But it is what it is. But anyways, yeah. So last pick. I mean,
left wing. So, yeah. Should I just write it in?
Yeah. Jack Grealish, motherfuckers.
Right.
So
really?
Sam doesn't make.
Yeah. I know. It's so funny. You said, "Oh, should I just write it in?" I'm like, "Oh, he thinks I'm gonna say Saka." I was like, "Oh no, I'm not." Jack Grealish, baby.
Right. All right. Is this real? All right, I'm going to poll the panel because clearly you think it's realistic. I don't.
What? How is it? Tell me how it's not realistic.
Because I just don't think they're not going to pay £100 million. Are we going to break our transfer record?
We're not
again?
100. No, we're gonna. They valued him at. Didn't Villa value him at 80? They valued him at 80, not 100.
Oh, 18. Oh,
yeah, 80. Yeah, thank you.
Hang on. Do you think that Arsenal are going to break the club transfer record again for the second time in 3 years for Jack Grealish? All right, so hang on. Stan and Rowan, thumbs up, thumbs down. Is Jack Grealish a realistic option? Wait a minute.
How is he not?
It's not a realistic option because he wants to pay fucking Buendia in installments.
That's true.
So it is, if Conte is not a realistic option for manager, then Grealish is not a realistic option.
All right.
Well, that's the
one. It's the one player that I really struggled with saying, like, okay, it's just it's not going to happen. It's got it it has to be realistic, and I just don't think I love where your head is at. I really do.
Well, up his arse.
Fuck, man. It's like, it's MFB. Heart, yes and no. Like my heart says, if all of the cards literally fell in our favor in terms of player sales and Kroenke and KSE, like, what do you need? You need $15 million to get the deal over the line. Okay, we'll put $15 million in. But I just don't see Jack Grealish as a realistic option. That being said, considering Villa are now linked with James Ward-Prowse, all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, what the fuck are they preparing for Grealish's exit? But I just don't think he's coming here. I'm going to give you an opportunity to amend your pick.
I don't agree. Do I think we're gonna get it?
Do you think the club are going to spend £80 million on Jack Grealish?
Why not?
No. Do you think they will?
The last time we didn't make Europe, we signed Dennis Bergkamp. I don't see what the big deal is signing Grealish is.
Completely different ownership. Like it's a completely different circumstances.
I still don't. I don't think it's crazy. Do I? I mean, it's a.
All right, I'm telling you to change your pick.
I
Not giving you a chance to amend it.
I like his positivity.
I love the positivity, but we're just not going to spend 80 million on Jack. We're just not. It's just not going to happen.
Tanner,
I love where your head's at. Go ahead, Stan.
Tanner, look at Ryan, smile, nod your head, and just write in Saka, for fuck's sake.
Thank you, but I'm not picking. But I'm not picking Saka. That's kind of funny you say that. Just a big fuck you to this draft. Since you don't give me Grealish, guess what? I'm not picking my left wing.
Give me Martinelli.
He's gonna fuck us up now and pick Willian, isn't he?
No,
yeah. Come on,
I'm not. Okay, no. Seriously, all right. Okay, my pick again. Another.
I appreciate Grealish, and I think all of us would love it to happen.
I don't see.
But honestly, like, put your realistic Arsenal ownership. Like, what would they do? Put that hat on. They're not going to do. They're not.
I've never worn that hat before, so I can't. I'm getting him.
But it has to be realistic. It is realistic. It's not realistic.
His favorite stadium to play at is Emirates.
He's friends with Saka and ESR. Not going to spend 80. So what? Because it's
you don't know that
to play at is the Emirates.
No, I didn't.
Those all of a sudden be like, oh, Arsenal,
you didn't let me finish.
30 million. That's your favorite stadium? Okay. Hey, thanks for your service. Off you go. Oh, 100 million pounds is going to get that deal over the line. They value him at 80. Tremendous.
Again.
Arsenal is valued at 2.1 billion. So I'm going to get sold for that. His value is 80. He's not going to get sold for 80. It's 100 million pounds. I love you to death. I swear to God. You're one of my favorite people.
Even if the Cronkies gave him that 80 million, right?
But be realistic. If they gave Edu 80 million pounds to spend, he's not spending it on Jack Grealish. He's going to spend it on 17 different players.
If they gave the money right to Mikel Arteta, he'd just go out and buy either Sterling or Mahrez. We're going to get one of them two as our marquee signing. Yeah. One of those will be our marquee signing.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't. I was gonna ask you guys that last show, but I don't know. I get cut off. Who would you guys rather have, Sterling and Mahrez?
Mahrez.
Okay.
And
he's Dan.
What's the age profile again? Mahrez is what, 30?
No.
Sterling is
28, 29.
I'm a big Mahrez fan.
I love Mahrez.
I've got this thing about Raheem Sterling that when he runs up the wing, he just looks like my missus running for a fucking bus in her high heels with a handbag on her arm. He has this funny run, and
Mahrez is 30. Mahrez is 30. Sterling is 26.
He runs like my missus. And my missus is like, yeah, he runs like me.
Does she watch this show? Like, will she watch this on play back and fucking? Oh my God. He does have a very strange gait to him, though, doesn't he? He runs. What it is, he runs very upright. He's very like it's very much like he's not leaning like most people when they run, they're leaning forward. He runs very upright. Like it's very strange.
We've seen
almost like he never ran track.
We make fun of him running, right? Like there's a video of Eden Hazard copying him how he runs. It's like too hilarious.
Yeah, it's like his chest is the furthest thing out from him.
Yeah,
like if he's trying to cross the finish line, the first thing that's going to cross is his nipples.
That's just how he plays for Manchester City, and gets so many opportunities, but he still can't score. He would frustrate the F out of all of us. Like if Sterling had signed, like he's. There are some people who have that knack for goal, that goal instinct, and all of that. He's the opposite of that, Sterling.
Yeah, it's just like Walcott or Iwobi all over again. All the interesting stuff, lightning pace and all of that, but then the ball just goes wide or fucking hits the bar.
Exactly. So this thing. And Mahrez, I would love for Mahrez to be there, but then we've already got Pepe, who sort of plays at the same position and plays the same sort of play. So, yeah.
Realistically, Ryan, who is our left back? I love the positivity on.
Wait,
Grealish.
left. Wait,
really do,
I have left back.
No, what I say? Left. I'm sorry, left wing. I mean, come on.
I mean, Saka won our player of the season. He can't be out of the 11, right?
Yeah, whatever.
I don't really
I feel
now I want him.
I feel like a 6-year-old kid that just got told he has to go to timeout.
It's just not real.
feel
I
like
love it.
It is. It's not going to happen, but it's realistic. I'm not saying, we're going to sign him. It's going to happen.
No. If it were 50 billion, I'd give it to you.
Hey, Tanner, blow me. Just put Saka in, please.
Oh, wait a minute, Al. Let's not be too hasty here. I mean, I probably will on your bachelor party. Fuck, whatever, man.
Jeez.
Don't rule anything out. I mean, I'll give you that little "How's your father?" Now, if it were 50 million, I'd give it to you. I might even.
I didn't know we had to. I didn't know those values had to be a certain.
That's the thing. It's just price. It's just price. That's all it is.
You should have told me before I did all this frantic researching the other night.
On Jack Grealish, all the frantic research that you did on Jack Grealish, sure.
Coutinho, we'll just sign him out of the blue.
All right, Rowan, you're up next, and I apologize. I need to duck out for a minute. So, Rowan, the next pick is yours. When I come back in, give me the pick. So the starting 11 is done.
If you're not back, I'm picking in front of you, just to let you know.
That's fine. We are into the bench now. So again, let's think of squad building. Okay. What we need, what any club realistically needs. So we can't just all of a sudden, because now it's wide open. Now we can pick any position. But let's not be stupid. We're not all picking 9 strikers. You know what I mean? So again, let's build a squad here, fellas. So, Rowan, you first pick for the bench.
Yeah,
I'll write it down and then I'll let you go.
Somebody who was enthusiastic and came on in probably, I think that was our last game of the season, and when our main striker, highest earner, was not doing it for us, Martinelli. I expect things from him next season. Because he's had a tough time this season. He's been out, injuries, all of that. But again, he's one guy that I look forward to seeing.
Stan, you're up next before I dip away here. Go ahead.
I think if you're going to look for a squad player, again, I'm going to stick with a player that's already with us. And I just have to go with Mohamed Elneny. I just think that he's got the right profile for a squad player. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to kick up a fuss about playing every week. But I know a lot of people say that he's rubbish and get rid of him and that. But honestly, since he's come back from his loan period, which I was sort of like suggesting on another channel months ago, let's get him back. When he plays, whether he plays 6 games a season or 12 games a season or 15 games a season, you don't get below a 6 performance from him. And I think the 6s are quite rare. It's usually maybe around a 7. And I just think that he's got everything that you need for a depth player. And we're talking about someone that for Arsenal could be a squad or a depth player, but there are other teams where he could probably be a starter. So I'm going to go with Mohamed Elneny on my bench.
Yeah. No, definitely agree with him on the bench and him being a squad player. We've got cup matches. We don't have Europe anymore, but we've got cup matches, etc. And so Elneny is great there. He's the thing with Elneny is, and it's not his fault. I'm not like sort of calling him out or something. Like, he doesn't have too many 6s, but you wouldn't expect an 8 also out of him, or maybe a 9, an 8.5. So he's consistently at a 7, which is good, because we've got too many players who are 7 and 8 one match, and then 3 matches they're 4s. So yep. That's where our team is at. So yeah, definitely for a score.
Yeah, I mean, how could you want to get rid of a player who has goal of the season? Like, come on. Like, what kind of nonsense is that? Goal of the season, man. Oh, my guy. All right, Tanner's not here, so I'm going to pick for him. And I think he wants Jack Grealish on the bench. No, I'm kidding. I wish he was here. I want to say that so bad. See what he says. I don't know.
Who are you gonna pick?
I'm gonna waste. No, you know what? No. I'm gonna pick for him. I'm gonna pick goalie for him because you know what? That's what Tanner gets. So okay, so Tanner wants, and I actually do like this signing if we can get him. Oana from Ajax.
Unana.
Oh, nah.
What's the name? I actually like it because I think it's funny on Arsenal Vision. They kind of put it. They made a rule. They put it in an interesting light. They go, it's either the smartest signing we've ever signed, or it's probably the dumbest signing we've ever did. Smart in the fact that we would be getting him for peanuts, and he's definitely worth a lot more.
Isn't he banned for a year or something?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on his.
I think he's banned until February, right? If he doesn't get his appeal and everything, that's the earliest he can come back. If he
I think so.
February.
But he's a goalie that's he's got a high value. He's one of the better goalies. He's got a high ceiling. His distribution is a little bit better than Leno's. Yeah, I think it's a smart signing for us. Granted, like if we find out the guy's banned, like Stan said, if he's banned on February, then yeah, maybe we shouldn't sign him. But I think if we can kind of get ahead of the curve and we luck out and maybe he's not banned for so long, I think it's a very smart signing in our hands because he's younger. He's an Arsenal fan. I think he's an Arsenal fan, and I think he's got a higher ceiling than Leno does. I think Leno right now is I would probably inch a little if I had to pick a goalie right now to start for us. I'd probably lean more toward Leno. But again, I think Oana has just the higher ceiling going forward, and I think he's going to offer us more in the long term. So Tanner, your pick.
I think it would be really Arsenal as well that if we actually went out and bought a player that's banned until February. I mean, we bought players with fucking broken backs before and other fucking ailments. But speaking of a goalkeeper option, Donnarumma's available in a free.
I heard he's going to PSG. I mean, again, it's all.
I heard he's going to Juventus.
Yeah.
He's in the final stages.
He's picked out like the number 99 jersey and stuff at PSG.
Oh, really?
He's
PSG.
Donnarumma's in the final stages of negotiating his contract with PSG.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if we could keep Leno until January and be like, okay, we'll get ready in January, dude. The Oana signing, man. Oh, Tanner, I made your pick for you.
No, you made your pick.
No.
You made your pick.
No. It was your turn.
For me, you made your pick.
It was your pick. You weren't here. I picked for you.
Stan took El Neni.
No. I picked for you.
For you.
Yes, I did. It's your turn.
It's actually Gary's written it in the thing. 14th pick Onana. That's it.
But he picked for you. He said, "I think Tanner wants Grealish." And
I said Grealish, but I said, all right, fine, I'll pick a goalie for Tanner because I know Tanner likes goalies because he's a hockey fan. He likes hockey goalies, and he was a hockey goalie. So I picked a goalie for you. I was trying to be sentimental.
For you.
No,
because here's the thing. I actually have a player that nobody's talked about that has never been mentioned on this show before.
What is it? Fucking Joe Willock? Who is it?
No, it's not Joe.
I don't. Wait. I wasn't gonna pick Oana if it was whatever.
Do you want? Okay, amend.
No.
Because you know what? I'll tell you what. Because I was gonna say because if it would have come to me, and we needed the goalie on the bench, I would have taken Andre Onana. So I'll live with it because because that's a pick I would have made.
Just like you're living with Sidney Crosby playing golf.
Oh my God.
What? I didn't say anything.
Fifth best hockey player of all time.
Okay.
Come at me. I'll destroy you. I will.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. All right. So is it my pick or is it your pick?
Not even a little bit.
What are we doing? What are we doing
I'll
here?
eviscerate you.
I'm having
all right,
so
so
much.
my pick is Andre Onana.
Gary, I'm having so much fun.
Hang on. Mohamed El Neni.
Yeah. Gary, I'm having the time of my life.
Martinelli. So Martinelli was Rowan. El Neni was Stan. Onana was my pick. I'll take it. Ryan, it's your pick. Go ahead.
I feel like I wish I had my Veruca salt beer. Veruca's Demise, great beer. Well, it was my beer of the week a few years ago. But I feel like Veruca, I just get what I want. It's fucking amazing. So my pick is actually going to be another Stuttgart player, Borna Sosa. He is they play a back three, so technically he's a left wing back, but he can play left back. He can play left wing. He what? He's played all three of those positions. What?
This is what I get for being a nice fucking guy. And
what did I do?
Onana, like I have a player. I have a backup left back.
Oh, Then put him at left midfield. Then what do you want from me?
What positions does he play? What is his primary position?
He's a left wing back, primary.
Then he's going in at backup left back.
Just puts a fucking left back on the substitutes bench. But okay.
He's easily the best crosser in the Bundesliga.
What's his name?
Borna Sosa, like Sammy Sosa, but Borna is Borna, and Sosa, yeah.
We don't put left backs on the bench. We put 3 right backs on the bench.
Oh,
right.
we're England now.
Yeah, come on, Ryan.
We're England now.
Stick with the program here.
But yeah, he's especially for what we wanted. I mean, let's face it. We could say we hate Arteta tactics and you hate all the crosses into the box. That's fine. Borna Sosa is the best crosser in the Bundesliga from the left side. And then what do? We favor the left side and we like to cross the ball in the net. He does all of that. He's perfect. Case closed. Rohan, you're next. Thank you.
I will add nothing.
You will like it.
What about I'm actually saying now, has Willock sort of earned a right to come back into the team? Maybe
that you know what, the pick
from midfield.
The pick is yours. So if you would like here's the thing. With the bench, it's wide open. We pick the players that at this point we're picking it is are we picking for position or best available? And I say best available.
Spoiler alert, I'm picking a goalie next time it comes around to me. So do what you gotta do, Rohan.
Oh yeah.
I'm not. I'm just kidding.
We have 5 players left to pick for the bench. If you
bring back
give it to Joe Willock, it's your pick. Go for it.
I bring back Willock. I've been impressed by him. He scored against Spurs in the last moment. He gave us a chance to finish above Spurs, and he's done really well. And this is what we lacked. We lacked goals from midfield. I think Joe Willock in the last 6 or 7 games scored more goals than all of our midfield put together in the season.
I don't think in the season, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, for the season, yeah.
I mean,
the season.
They have different tactics than we do, but that's fair. I mean, you're not wrong.
Our tactics is just not scoring any goals.
No,
our tactics are pass the ball in the horseshoe.
No, the way Newcastle plays, they have a free. They have a free.
Dude, it's Newcastle, man. They don't score for shit.
No. You're both right. You're just arguing. You're arguing the same point a different way, but you're both right. You're both. I'm serious. You're both right. Because what Newcastle are doing, they're trying to score goals. We're not trying to score goals. We're trying to win the possession battle. Because apparently that's what Arteta thinks wins games. I don't know.
You guys are hilarious. Who's next?
Stan.
I'm also going to pick a midfielder because obviously Ryan picked Emil Smith-Rowe in the starting creative. So you could essentially say that for that game, a player like Odegaard would be rested and on the bench. But I'm not going to pick Martin Odegaard because in the world, Ancelotti wants him back at Madrid and we couldn't get that deal done. So as an alternative, we managed to hustle up 30 million plus a few add-ons. And we went up to Man United and we released Donny.
I like it. Let's go. Let's go. He's getting one way or the other. Come on. I love it.
I think it's realistic as well. I think that there have been talks hearing that they're saying that, well, maybe you want to think about moving on. He's only been there a year. Could be a quick deal. There's obviously ties to Arsenal because he's dating or he's shagging Bergkamp's daughter. And he's a player that I've always liked. You lot, anyone that's been following me can go back to my timeline and see how much I've raved about Donny van der Beek. So he's in my team. I'd like to start him, but he's resting for this game because Ryan started ESR. So I'm going for Donny.
I like it. I like it a lot, actually, because I think if United could simply recoup what they paid for him, I think they'd sell him. They paid what, 38 million?
38 mil. Yeah.
I think if they could recoup that, it'd be like, yeah, okay, good, we're good. Go.
My only problem is he couldn't cut it in the Premier League. Like, what's to say he's going to cut it with us?
I don't buy that.
Okay, no. I didn't watch him enough, so I don't know.
Wasn't fit, and I mean, from what I could tell, was never really given an opportunity.
How many minutes has he played? You know,
I didn't watch
games
him.
he
I
started.
don't even know.
Yeah.
Is it my pick again?
No, it's
I was kidding. I was joking.
Oh, so one thing we haven't done yet on the bench is a backup center back. And I think you need to carry one backup center back on your bench at all times. So off the board, it's a guy that I've liked this kid for years now. I believe he's at Leverkusen.
You take my pick, aren't you? Oh no, yeah, never mind. There's another guy.
He's at Leverkusen. He's tall. He's big. His distribution isn't the greatest, but he wins the majority of his aerial duels. Just a strong physical presence at the back. Jonathan Tah.
That was him.
Good shot.
I swear to you, that was going to be my pick. I'm not even kidding. I was considering. Well, no, I have two picks. You took one of them. I was going to pick him.
He's another one of those players that I found on FIFA maybe 3 or 4 FIFAs ago, and then started hearing him in the real world.
But you know what? But you know what's funny about him?
The funny is we're linked with the other center back, whatever the
other guy.
Yeah, I want Tah.
I have not heard Jonathan Tah's name linked in the transfer window to anyone at all.
No.
I do not hear a peep. That's the only. It's like, wait, okay, so what's going on here? Like, why am I not hearing anything about Jonathan Tah? But
he's a year older, and we could probably spend half the money than the other guy.
He's 25.
Yeah,
he's not old.
The other guy's 24.
And that's the thing. Like for me, I look at goalkeepers and I look at center backs. They're not attacking. They're not like attacking players in terms of the prime of their careers are their late 20s into their early 30s.
Yeah.
Attacking players' primes are mid to late 20s, maybe into your early 30s. Defenders and goalkeepers don't come into their own until let's just split the difference and say 30 years old. That's just I'm sorry, but that's just how long it takes, in my opinion, to really develop the nuances that it takes to play defense. In attack,
I think it's because in some of the other positions there's more of a reaction to your game. You're reacting, it's more reactionary.
Yeah.
Whereas defenders and goalkeepers, it's more about reading the game, right?
Exactly.
Read
it. Yep. Being defensive is up here. It's instinct. It's feeling the game around you, right? But it's also up here, seeing what's in front of you and knowing where you need to be in relation to what you're seeing in front of you. When you're in attack, as we've said, as Ryan and I have said multiple times, it's more chaotic. It's more creative. It's more expressive. I don't want the handbrake thing. I don't want to pull the handbrake in my attack. Express yourself, be creative, but defensively in midfield there needs to be a bit of structure. And so that being said, Jonathan Tah is starting to come into his own as a defender. I've liked this guy easily for 3 years. He's been a starter at Leverkusen for Ryan. You follow the Bundesliga closer than I do, but he's been a starter at Leverkusen for 4 years now?
Yeah, about that.
Roughly 4 or 5 years.
I think we were linked with him before, right before we signed Saliba. We were.
I never heard a link to him with anyone, let alone us. But could be.
Yeah,
wrong.
he was linked with us. I mean, it was probably crappy journalism, but he was linked with us. Yeah, but yeah. He joined Leverkusen in I want to say 2015. I think he joined from Hamburg.
Yep.
But
I think so.
He's someone for me. Him and Nicolas Sule. They're gonna be the center backs for Germany.
They're gonna be the new Konate Upamecano, right? Mm-hmm. That's the new center back pairing in Germany now.
If Sule could fucking stay healthy, he plays. I think he's Bayern. So
okay. So Jonathan Tah, center back. Ryan, the next pick is yours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 picks left, gents. So I'm done. I'm out. And that sucks because I had a really good player that I wanted to pick, but
I know I was gonna. Oh well.
I have a player. If you were gonna take Tah, I'll take the next pick. I'll give it.
Well, easy.
You took Onana. You took
Easy.
Onana from me to return the favor. Let me pick my guy.
You should have been here. I don't know what to
Oh
tell
my
you.
God! Oh,
this is
yeah.
a
So
this
fuck
is a
me for
job.
having 3 dogs that I had to go.
This is a job. You're just gonna walk away from your job like that?
Yes.
No, it's not
Yeah.
good. Well, you did. I mean, I'm obviously gonna pick who I think should be our number 1 target, who we need. Number 1 in the programs and 1 in your hearts, Basuma. I think I think Basuma offers us so much. I think Basuma makes time. I agree. I said this earlier. I think Neves is probably a better partner for Partey, but I'd rather make Partey just a better player. And I think Basuma enables that, and I think Basuma is exactly what we need. Granted, Arteta I don't think is going to go down this way, which is very upsetting to me. But yeah, I think Basuma is everything we need and more.
All right, Rowan. Two spots left on the bench.
It's just so weird that we have not named Lacazette or Aubameyang.
Is he gonna name Aubameyang your last pick?
No, I'm not. Which is what drives home the point, like how far this season has like disappointed us, right? Like, and disappointed me really. Like, I was just thinking about it. Like, every day for years, what I had done was like, because I wake up and like, log into my computer, and I would search Arsenal. That's the first thing that I would do. Arsenal, and then delete LA, and then Arsene Wenger. Like, I did that for years, every day. And then now I realized over like the last few weeks, I haven't done that. I haven't, like, the first thing that I do is not Arsenal. I haven't Google searched it. Like, they're taking away my love for Arsenal. And in protest for that, I will not make a pick. And I will let Tanner make this pick. Like,
Nope, it stands. Well, it's funny because as I'm counting, I'm like, wait, I thought we would all get to make one last pick. And nope, if you, Rowan, if you made a pick and Stan made a pick, we'd be at 21. But since Rowan,
that makes no sense. If we all picked 5 times 4 is 20.
Because Glenn picked 1.
Oh, Glenn,
I gave Glenn one pick.
Right.
So you know what? That's fine. It works out because Rowan gets to have his say in protest. He's not going to take a pick. Stan, the final pick is yours.
Cronky out.
Cronky out. I want content.
I want content.
I'm gonna use my last pick for a wild card. You know, that one that you maybe that player that you get in as a bit
exciting.
You're getting as a bit of an experiment. You know, you're not necessarily go by the stats that they've done, but you think there might be something in there. You can get them cheap. You know, if it doesn't quite work out, it's not going to break the bank. And the player that I'm going to go for is an Argentinian player that plays for Atalanta.
Wow.
The winger. He can play in attack midfield as well. And again, it's one of these players that I've known about for maybe 3 years or so. He's 22 now, and I think his name is Ezequiel Barco.
Spell it.
Fuck.
Ezequiel, Ezequiuiel, and his surname is Barco, Barco. And there's something about this. There's something about this guy. I get a lot of American soccer over this way as well. And I've seen a couple of when I see Atalanta are on, I like to watch them to see if he's going to do anything. And sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. And he's going to be my little wild card player that I'm going to sort of like maybe, you know what I mean, like that Guendouzi kind of Martinelli money. He's not going to break the bank. Let's see how it works out. Let's see if we can get a tune out of this guy. Ezequiel Barco.
I like it. It's definitely off the reservation. That's for sure. I feel the need to do this. One more pick. We're each going to get one more pick in.
Oh, I know. Good.
Who's the one guy you didn't get to pick that you would? I'll start. The one guy, and this is why I'm doing this because I wanted to get this guy in here. The one guy you didn't get to pick that, all things considered, you'd take him. My pick is the backup left back to Kieran Tierney. It's Tyrell Malacia. I don't know how you say his last name. Malacia. Plays for Feyenoord in the Eredivisie. He's everything that Kieran Tierney is. He's a year younger, a little taller, probably, I mean, not as talented at this point as Tierney is, but Tyrell Malacia would be my honorable mention pick. Ryan, an honorable mention.
Can I pick Jack Grealish now?
No.
No, but seriously, my honorable mention, I actually do want to pick. To be fair, yeah, whatever. My honorable mention I wanted to pick, I fucking don't know how to pronounce his first name. Eze from Palace, their number 10.
Oh, Eberechi Eze.
Dude, he is going to be a mother. He's going to be a motherfucker.
Where did he come
Everyone's
from?
like,
QPR?
oh, Zaha. Yes, QPR. Yeah. Came from QPR. Yeah, he is going to be a motherfucker. He got a really big Achilles injury, which is going to silent for quite a bit. But dude, he is someone everyone talks about how Zaha makes Crystal Palace tick, dude. It's slowly turning into him.
It's going to be him. It's going to be him.
It's going to be him. But I could see him leaving soon and going to another club, a bigger club. No offense to Crystal Palace, but I would love to have him at Arsenal. He's going to be such a talent.
Rowan, an honorable mention pick. You're muted.
Muted. Oh, I was muted. I said it has to be Draxler, hasn't it? Like I
thought he was gonna say Wenger or Conte. I was like, okay,
yeah.
Wait, that's true. We didn't pick a manager. We should have picked a manager. I'm kidding.
We can at the very end. Sure, why not? I like it. I like it. Let's do it. Okay. So, Rowan, what was the pick again? Sorry.
I said Draxler.
Oh, you said Draxler. That's right.
Yeah, that's an honorary pick on this one.
All right, so Stan, you can't take Karim Benzema.
To be fair for Benzema, shout out to Mike McDonald. I don't know if you're listening, but he was on Mike Hurd's podcast, Not an Arsenal podcast. Everyone check it out. It was a great listen.
It really was. It really was.
What they did was they had a realistic option, and then they had like their dream option. And Mike McDonald, I think it was McDonald's I think it was his dream option was Benzema. And honestly, you're like, what? Yeah, maybe 10 years ago. The way he explained it, the way he articulated himself, I could not agree more with what we have in Martinelli and what we have in Balogun. I think Benzema is the perfect striker to come in for us. And if I had a second honorable mention, Sir Jess Ansah, I was going to say Riddle Baku, but also someone took my backup right back. I think it was you, Stan. I was going to say Riddle Baku, but I didn't. I wasn't able to.
Yeah, Stan, honorable mention pick.
Well, I think my honorable mention is a striker. He's 21 years old. He's Canadian. He won the French league with Lille. I'm going to go with a guy called Jonathan David.
Yeah, he's good.
I think he played at Genk. He was at Genk.
Yeah,
in Belgium. This kid, right, is going to go a long way. He's going to make a name for himself, right? And the way that sometimes he works when he plays with Alphonso Davies in the Canadian team, they link up really well with long sort of like slide rule passes to him. Jonathan David, I think, will be my sort of like my last word on this.
So, interesting point. Dream manager. Let's do it. Just real quick. I mean, I think we could all rattle someone off the top of our head.
We all know Rohan's bringing Big Wen back, isn't he? He's bringing Wenger back.
Yeah, of course.
All right, now take now. He's out of the equation. You got to come again, realistic. But Stan, I'll tell you what, we'll go backwards. So Stan, I'll start with you.
Okay, if I'm going to go for a manager, I would go right now. I like Brendan Rodgers for me. There's something about him being oven ready a little bit.
Yeah,
in this league,
like it.
He was my pick. He was my pick after Wenger. When I knew Wenger was leaving, he was a guy that I wanted to replace him. I like his style of football. There's a lot about him that reminds me of David Brent from The Office, the English version of The Office. He has this David Brentness about him, but I do also like his managerial kind of style. Players seem to want to play for him, and he likes to play a nice style of football. So I'll go Brendan Rodgers right now.
Rowan, like when Brendan Rodgers had that season with Liverpool, I thought that Liverpool had finally had a manager for like 20 years, and they, this guy's going to win them the league and stuff. But what it proved then was that he couldn't, set the team up to win against Chelsea, in a way that they were going to sit back. Everybody knew what they were doing, but he tried to, impose himself and basically lost the league there. And then he's done that twice in a row now with Leicester, where this year there was this crazy stat that they spent the most number of days in the top 4 out of everyone, including Man City. They spent the most number of days in the top 4, like 200 something, and Man City had like 120 days or something. Yeah, and both of these seasons they've fallen out of top 4. Like if an Arsenal manager would do that, it's something what this guy did. Emery did, and he got sacked, right? Like we were supposed to get into Europe, into the Champions League. We almost did, and then we screwed up the last 6 matches and we were out. And Rodgers has that sort of thing, although he won the FA Cup with them, but for the last 2 seasons, it's reaffirmed to me that like somehow he's the Arsenal type of manager. He bottle it. That's all.
I think that Brendan Rodgers is the kind of manager that can get you to that kind of a level where the next manager could be a Conte.
Yeah.
Where we are now, he's that manager that can pull us up. Do some of that dirty work that some of the bigger managers haven't got the time for, don't want to get involved in, and then after him, you get your big guy, you get your Conte, you get your Allegri or whatever it might be.
That's true. I agree with that. So yeah, but I mean, if I've mentioned it so many times on the show, if I had an option right now, then I'd just take Conte. That's the guy that I would take.
Ryan?
He changed the Premier League when he came here with the 3 at the back, didn't he?
Sorry, Vegas just won in overtime, beat Colorado.
Oh, did they really? Oh, you root for Vegas, you piece of shit.
Really? Why would you think I'm not rooting for Vegas?
I don't know.
Why am I rooting for Vegas, Ryan? Mark,
sorry, I'm watching Jack Grealish talk about how he.
Anyway, manager, quickly, please, come on.
I'm just saying, real quick. Someone asked Jack Grealish, "Who's the most funniest and energetic player in the team?" And he said, you can't really say. He said Bukayo Saka. I'm just saying. No big deal. I'm just saying he said Bukayo Saka. Anyways, if I had to pick a manager, since I can't pick a director of football, I've been singing this guy's praises since probably while we still had Wenger. Ralph Rangnick. I think he talks about, when he was a manager of Leipzig, he just was all about hard work and all 11 players have to work and pull the same way. And he was big on youth. And I think we have one of the best youth systems in the world. And I think we need to use that more. And I think that's something that Arteta, needs to use more. And I think this upcoming season, I'm going to keep saying this probably till whenever, but last season should have been what this season's going to be. I don't think we're gonna be all the way there yet with all of our signings. I think this is the season where we should, bet in Balogun, bet in Aziz, and kind of give them those minutes. But it's going to be tough because you're going to be damned if you do, damned if you don't. Arteta has to perform, or he's not going to be here. I do believe that to an extent. But I want to see what Balogun's about. I think everybody wants to see what Balogun's about. We need to know what we have because we have Aubameyang, who's going to be out the door soon. We have Lacazette, who's probably going to get sold this season. So we need answers. And to me, I think it's in the youth, and that's why I'm the biggest Ralph Rangnick fan. But yeah, Ralph Rangnick.
So I guess I'll get the last say here, and I'll piggyback off the director of football thing because I wish we could do both. But I'll go to who I think might be the best, if not one of the top 5 best systems in all of world football, and that is Ajax. And I'm going to take Erik ten Hag.
I was going to pick him
because he
was that close, man, to picking him.
He understands that you need the consistency from the bottom, meaning the youngest of players, to the top, meaning the most experienced of veterans. It has to be consistent, and that's what Ajax does as a club. You show up at their training facility as a 10-year-old, and when your position is determined, it's that your responsibilities are the same, whether you're 10 or whether you're 40. If you play till you're 40, we'll say 30, but you get the point. And Erik ten Hag understands that, and he understands a system and a structure, but it goes beyond the first team, because if you're academy, if you're under 18s and you're under 23s are playing two different systems, and your senior team is playing a wholly different system from the other two, where's the connection? Where's the connection?
Yeah.
You're bringing youth players in to a system that they've never played before, and giving them responsibilities that they don't understand, that they've never undertaken. Erik ten Hag understands, again, being with Mark Overmars, Dennis Bergkamp to an extent at Ajax, that system doesn't change. And that's what breeds a successful football club. And at the end of the day, it starts at the bottom. And that's what, unfortunately, our club don't understand. We're all over the place. We really are. This football club is completely spiderwebbed. There's a central focus, but because of everything else outside of it, that central area, that focal point, what builds a club, what builds a business, has been completely lost. And that, to me, is our biggest problem. So a lot of fun this evening, gents. Really appreciate getting back together with you guys. So we'll go every other week, barring any hiccups. But a lot of fun. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll probably just be talking mostly transfers and things of that nature. But yeah, appreciate everybody being out there. Stan, shout out the chat for me real quick.
Yeah, man. Big shout out. Mike Hertz is in there. Stay Fresh joined us today. MFB Says, that's another new name. I don't remember MFB Says coming in here. Yep. Gary was in there moderating. Don't waste a tweet. Faye popped in. We had Danny the GFB from a Bergkamp Wonderland who popped in to see us. Don Giovanni was there. London Lone Star was a bit conspicuous by his absence this week. Gracious Geek was in there.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, thank you to everybody that came in and joined us. A couple of new faces. And remember, guys, we do this every Tuesday, but in the close season, we're going to be doing it every couple of weeks. So I will see you back here in 2 weeks, unless, I suppose, something big happens, right?
I was going to say, if something crazy happens, fuck
it.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, if something crazy happens, we'll do
Daniel
it.
X bid is accepted, I'm sure we'll be back.
I'm just saying, Germany's first Euro game is on Tuesday, so I don't know.
Also, as well, can I just shout out the Arsenal Luchador was in the chat as well. He popped in, holla, and thank you, my friend, for sending me this wonderful.
Nice.
I need that shirt. I need it.
That's
I need that shirt in my life.
Arsenal Luchador, if you are still watching by chance, can I get one of those T-shirts? I will.
I want one. No, I will.
I will direct message you my address, and I can pay you basically any way you would like.
I will send
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, hand jobs. I'll get Ryan involved.
I'll send Jack Grealish to Arsenal, and I will also give hand jobs too. But yeah, Jack Grealish and a hand job.
I'm not giving hand jobs. If I'm paying hand jobs, you're giving them.
I got a mean grip. They call me
Ryan. Look, listen. It's like the circle jerk. Ryan will bring his catcher's mitt. That's it for us. Good footy talk, everybody. We'll see you out there.